Hello friends, Marcy here, and I have something new to share from GoldSpot. They also just included the little mini catalog in my order, which I'm very pleased to receive as an addition. But I received my new pen, this one, on, oh wow, I was just going to move this aside and I see this laying, my little cherry blossom rickshaw. That's nice, a nice match. We'll look at that again. I got distracted, sorry, chasing rabbits. So this came in Monday, today's Wednesday, and I've just been crazy busy and haven't had a chance to share, but you can see it's Opus 88 Mini. And voila, look at this beauty. Let's get into it. And just here's the gorgeousness of it all. It is the cherry, a Sakura cherry blossoms model. Mona from Kitchen Counter Crafts shared this months ago, and I was so tempted. I put one in my cart, but I just didn't pull the trigger. And then recently, Sherry at Faith and Fountain Pens shared it again. I was like, oh, there's that gorgeous pen again, and I still don't have it. So Sherry, thank you for sharing your pen. Mona, thank you for sharing your pen, because now here's Marcy sharing her pen. And I have you ladies to thank for that. But before we explore more about the Opus 88 Mini, I do want to just call attention to what comes in the box. It does have a black O-ring here that you can use in need of replacement, and a glass eyedropper. Let me pull that out and just show you. Do I have some glass here to tinkle? It is a glass eyedropper. So that is provided because this is an eyedropper fill pen, and they hold a lot of ink. That reservoir is amazing. You don't need a cartridge, you don't need a converter. All you need is the pen, eyedropper, and a bottle of ink, which we'll talk about in a moment. But let me move this aside because we don't need any of this just yet. Cherry Blossom is joining my little Opus 88 Mini family of the Coffeeholic, which I've enjoyed for a couple of years. I love using, actually I've only used brown coffee themed inks in here, and then I have a Diamine Soft Mint ink that I use in here like in the springtime, and it's just gorgeous looking through that transparent body there. This one will also be transparent, but it does have more of the decoration on the barrel. So aren't they just cute? So let's get into the pen. So to start off with, I'm going to go run this under the tap because I can't do a flush, like just a little jar flush like I usually do. So I'm going to run this under the tap just to rinse it out real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so when I fill my pens, my Opus 88 Minis, I don't usually use the eyedropper, the glass eyedropper that comes with, as I shared with you a moment ago. By the way, let me zoom in here and just show you. On this silver band here, it does say Opus 88 around that part of the band. And let's take a gander in here. You can see the plunger pulls back. That is so you can close the ink feed to the nib if you're traveling or whatever. You can close this up and it will seal against the nib feed and not allow ink to flow into the nib. So that's kind of handy to have sometimes. And let's see, I'm going to pull it back just a little bit, and to fill this I'm going to be using my syringe. It's a blunt tip syringe, and oops, I need to zoom back out. I'm just way too close. All right, and we're going to be using, I'll pull this aside and show you some considerations I have for ink choice. And I just did a little spot here on the bottom of this page. I was considering using this Kirasami, Pilot Irishizuku Kirasami, a gray ink in this barrel, just for winter time, because, you know, cherry blossoms in December. But Texas has given off some awesome spring weather, y'all. We've been in the 70s so much this week. It's amazing. Anyway, so I decided to go with the Sailor Shikiori, and this is a Sakura Mori. So I think just the namesake and the match. Here's a little swatch on, this is Tamori River paper on a little Galen leather notebook. So I'm thinking that's going to be fabulous. Fabulous pairing there. All right. So let's get down to inking. All right, so you are more than welcome, also encouraged, to use your eyedropper that comes with the box. I usually use the syringe just for ease, because I'm used to using, quite comfortable with using the syringe to fill my converters. And when I wash out and reuse cartridges, I'll use the syringe to flush and fill them. So I've drawn up some ink, and I'm sure it's not enough because this is a very slender syringe barrel. I'm just gonna drop some in here, and I'm admiring the color. Well, yes, I need some more. Here we go. So we're up to the top. Let me cap this, because I've had oopsies and I don't want another one. You may apply silicone grease here on the threads if you would like some extra protection. For now, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna assemble my nib unit, and voila. So let's admire. It's kind of a transparent ink in the barrel there, you can see. And I think you can also see the transparency here. But we'll be doing a writing sample after the ink saturates into the nib feed. Okay, friends, I'm back, and I'm not sure where I left off in the video talking, so I will try to jump back on that train of thought. A lot has happened since I left. All I wanted to do was let the pen rest and saturate the nib, but I ended up finishing supper and eating in the meantime. So a lot's happened in my world. Excuse me. I'm gonna run off on a side note. I haven't made videos in a couple weeks because because of my cough and sniffle. The first week of December, I got sick and I missed actually 4 days of work. Went back to work for a week and then had another spell over the weekend. Excuse me, I'm gonna cut out those coughs. But I've limited talking videos because of my coughs and sniffles. I've only been working on my silent shorts with the Diamond Infant, and just a music background, no voice. So I'm going to move my towel out of the way here and bring over the Rhodia dot pad. I do want to do a writing sample with this. I'll talk a little bit more about nibs, and then in a later video, I don't want this to be too long, in a later video I will do some comparisons with my Nib Story. But let's look at this gorgeous Sailor Shikiori. I'm going to turn this around. Sakura Mori. So we are using the brand new, oh, by the way, this is an extra fine nib. Let me zoom in closer here. And there's a story behind that as well. Opus 88 Mini. As mentioned earlier in the video, I've always adored this pen, and Mona from Kitchen Countercrafts. Let's see, I'm talking and I have to step back and think. Sakura, Cherry Blossom. Shared this gorgeous pen. I put it in my cart. I didn't purchase it. I don't know if that's singular or plural, but for today, it's plural. And this is an EF nib. Goodness gravy. This ink is just an amazing, gorgeous match. And if you've been with my channel for some time, you know I like matchy-matchy pens and inks. So that's why we're here. And let me get back on my story. Mona tempted me with the, apologize. Mona tempted me with the pen, but I was strong. I didn't order it. So I don't know if you call that strength or just putting off the inevitable. But then I saw it again. Sherry on Faith and Fountain Pens shared it again just like a week ago. I ordered it. But when I did, the nib size availability was limited, so I have the extra fine. I do enjoy extra fines. As a matter of fact, when I first started purchasing fountain pens, I was all about fines and extra fines. So moving right along here, I'm just going to record the date after we do some. You can hear the feedback here in this. Line width, not much variation. Some wider on the downstroke, but nothing like drastically different. There we go. So this is going to be a very enjoyable pen and ink to take to work with me tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Let's just record the date here. Today is December 18th, 2024. We are down to our last week before Christmas. Jump back in here for a zoom in. And see, I'll not write anything else here. I do want to jump over to talk about the pen nibs. Later I'll have an in-depth video about the story, but if you look at these pens, if you remove the cap, this pen has no roll stop. And so one day on my table, it began to roll and it did not stop. So I had this mishap. Landed face down on the nib. I've saved it. Let me take it out of the bag. I saved it in my replacement nib. This says a 1.44 medium stub nib, which I have on this pen currently. But I had originally purchased it with a broad nib, and look, it landed on the end of the nib. You just have to see this. I'm sorry. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. It looks goofy, but it was a sad situation. So anyway, when I ordered the replacement nib, and not only did I order the 1.44 stub, I ordered a fine, and I ordered a broad to replace the same one that I misplaced or destroyed, I should say. So it looks like I'm just going to need a medium to have my family of nib sizes rounded out here. And I'll have to add one of those to an order in the future. But I did save this. I am going to try to do like a repair on my own. At the time this happened, I had no experience repairing my own nibs, but I've been quite successful since then repairing some of my nib damage, because there have been others. So anyway, very inexpensive nibs. I forget, maybe $10. And so I think that's why I ordered so many, so I could qualify for a free shipping bonus on an order. Another story. Anyway, we will compare. I will have to ink this again and compare some nib sizes in writing. But until then, I just thank you for joining me and experiencing my new Opus 88 Mini in Sakura Cherry Blossoms. I appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.